We'll get back to football at the end of the show, but we're going to talk some Cavs. Before we do that, our guy Darren hit again. Hit another FanDuel ticket, guys. Darren Smith is on a hot streak right now.
How much does he lose?
I don't know the losses, but this is about 5 shows in a row with a significant win. He had a 10-part same-game parlay on Saturday night.
He must be betting some crazy alternate lines, Mike, right?
Spurs, yes.
Trust me, that wasn't his only bet.
He had a 10-part parlay, and he's only 10-1 odds. But Darren, bet 15, won 155 and 74 cents. If you guys have winning tickets, make sure you send it in to us as well so we can share them right here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Shout out to Darren.
A lot of barbecue with that.
By the way, Darren, the little known fact about him, he's a day trader.
Oh.
Really?
I could see that. I mean, if you're doing, you're doing
if you're gambling, that's what day trading is. He's gambling on Wall Street.
I pulled up one day and I said, man, he came over and when he was in town, he stopped over a little bit. He said, you mind if I use your Wi-Fi? I said, no problem, bro.
Damn.
Whipped out his laptop and sat down. I was like, I'll give you some coffee, bro.
All right. At least he didn't whip out anything else.
Yeah, pause. Super.
Bull. Come on. That was funny. It was funny.
He was talking about his wallet.
It was for
dinner. He was going to buy dinner.
It was funny.
Yeah. But he pulls out like Forex and NASDAQ. He got streaming ticker tape going. I was like, what the heck is this?
What I know? I know a lot of former day traders.
Right. It gets scary out here, right?
I had a guy told me once, he's in about $175,000 part-time day trading.
Yeah.
And then I hadn't seen him for a while. I saw him about 3 or 4 years later. I go, hey, man, you still day trading? He goes, yeah, no. Boy, things turn dark, man. Things
go to GA instead.
That machete can come at any second. Yeah. Any second.
So he was the one that told me, he goes, really, day trading isn't a career. Former day trading is a career.
Right. Yeah.
That's a much better way to put it. In some Cavaliers news, though, guys, on Saturday, they got revenge on Minnesota, who had just bested them 2 nights prior. They won 146-134 in one of the more entertaining games of the season. I asked Kenny after the game if he thought that was their best win of the year, considering the opponent, the circumstances, and all that goes into it. And he said it was certainly top 2. He couldn't pick that over Phoenix. But, Jason, when you go back and you look at what the Cavs did against Minnesota, they tied an NBA record, 5 players with 20 or more points. It's only happened a few times in the history of the league. They accomplished that against Minnesota. Was this the glimpse into the team we thought this Cavaliers group should be this season? They finally played up, at least offensively, to what we thought.
Yeah, it's a glimpse. You got to do it again. That's been the problem with these guys is they'll have one good game and then 2 or 3 clunkers after it. So it's like it's time to go. Like we're there. It's at that point where it's time to stop making excuses about injuries and it's time to start playing basketball. And you have what you have, and you are who you are. And it's the middle of January, and it's time to hit the gas and start kicking this thing into gear to start making a run for the postseason. So, it was a great game. I didn't watch it live. I went back and watched parts of it later. But you just got to see it again. I want to see the consistency now of being able to play like that 2 or 3 nights in a row. But Darius, we talked about it last week on Friday, that he has got to give them offensively what he's capable of in order to make this system flow, in order to make the offense go. And, he's got to shoot better than 27% from 3, I can tell you that. And so we'll see. We'll see where they go from here. I'm not going to make too big of a deal over one game because we've done that before, and then they fell on their face again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's time to get to it. Like, I want to see, and I think one of their biggest – the unquestioned leader of the team is Donovan Mitchell. And sometimes, you got to go back and look at the communication style that people had. I go back to look. One thing about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant is even LeBron to a certain extent, they didn't have a problem ticking people off. They didn't have a problem of making you second guess some things. They didn't have a problem of challenging you when they needed you to be challenged.
Making you uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. Kevin Love was uncomfortable. Horace Grant was uncomfortable. Steve Kerr was uncomfortable. Kobe did to Andrew Bynum and he got Pau Gasol and he finally was like, okay, I got me one of them dudes. I could push him and I got somebody that I could roll with. And then when he got Pau, they ran some championships off. But Rajon Rondo and his championship team was that. He rubbed a lot of people wrong. But Donovan is to me, he's the only. I like Jaylon Tyson a lot, by the way. If he keeps shooting like this, Jaylon Tyson, nice. I mean, he's super nice. But the guy that they got on the team is the only dog that they got is Donovan Mitchell. So he's going to have to put that pressure on Darius Garland and start it now. He got to apply the pressure to Jared Allen. Like, I like what Jared was doing. You tell Jared, you better be dunking everything moving. I don't want to see layups and finger rolls. Everything
He has kind
moving.
of been more aggressive.
I have noticed that. I've noticed that.
His fingers are not still 100% broken. He can catch a basketball again.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
helps when you're a center. And you need to
That's a
dunk.
good point. It's a fair point. Makes a difference.
We need all. Evan Mobley, he still has to. The maturity of Evan Mobley is not whether or not he's hitting shots. It's about the level of aggressive and him locking in. The fourth quarter, he'd be lollygagging around. This fourth quarter, I thought I liked what he was doing because Evan Mobley had a really nice little, he had the JV dream shake a little bit. He was moving, he was dunking the ball. And this was a guy that's going against Rudy Gobert. And he seems to shrink a little bit when it comes to physicality when he's playing guys of his stature. And then with Darius Garland, he I said it last week. He's not Kyrie, but he's going to have the Kyrie mentality. And the Kyrie mentality was cultivated through Kobe and their relationship. And LeBron was like, listen, if we're going to beat the Warriors, you got to be a stone cold assassin. And when Darius Garland can get into the lane, you start to see he hit the teardrop. I thought his runner looked as good as I've seen in a while. He was able to knock some of those down. And when his runner is going, now he can dish and do some things to get other people involved. So I liked what he was doing. But Donovan is going to have to push the mentality. He's going to have to really go at these dudes and say, it's time to ratchet this up and get us to a point where we are playing a consistent way. And this is the level we need to play, especially when it comes to the postseason.
And to Jason's point, it can't just be one-offs.
No.
We know what this team is capable of. It's really kind of the first time this year where I've thought, okay, that looks like the Cavs offense from last year when it was all-time great. If I'm not mistaken, Mike, I think the Timberwolves are like the best team since Thanksgiving. They were like 15-5.
They've been really good. Yeah, no, it's a very, very
So
good win over
I
the
think
Presidents.
that part of it is impressive, but here's something that I'll leave you with. If the Cavs finish the season on a 40-game winning streak, they'll finish with the exact same record that they had last year. That's
all right.
how far behind they are.
All right.
I got to say, Mike, I am stunned by this conversation right now. Nobody has been more negative about the Cavs than me. Is that fair to say?
That is very fair.
I can't believe the negativity from this
It's
panel.
not negative.
No, we're taking a wait-and-see approach.
Listen,
Are
comparing
you all in now?
Of course not. But
Okay, that's neither are we.
comparing it to last year's, who cares? The win-loss record last year was meaningless.
No, I know it was, but what we're saying is
but you guys are talking about lack of
Thank you,
consistency.
Bull.
They've actually showed some consistency here. They've won 5 of their last 7 games, and 4 of those 5 wins are against the best teams in the NBA. They've beaten the Spurs, the Nuggets, the T-Wolves,
Suns.
and who's the other one?
The Suns.
And the Suns, who are playing great basketball. So, yeah, I mean, I've killed them all year. And I could just come on here, as I've done quite often, and say, it doesn't matter, we'll see at the end of the year. But you guys all pointed to specifics about this season. Honestly, before the 7-game stretch, nothing matters. Right now, they're playing good
to me,
basketball.
nothing matters till April.
Okay, then, but why are we talking about I'm
Because
shocked.
we do a show every day and we have to talk about them.
No, but I'm shocked that Jason said they need to be more consistent. This is the most consistent they've played.
But-
they've won 5 of 7 against
they-
4 really good teams.
They just played this team the night before, and they had some of the same things they had.
But you're not going to win every game.
No,
You're
but
playing.
they gave up a 40-point third quarter.
Yeah.
I hear you, Jason.
that's
but
what,
would you not say that over these last 7 games they've played overall very good basketball?
It starts to feel like they're turning a corner, but I've thought before that they were starting to turn a corner.
Right, but they haven't had another stretch this year where they won 5 of 7, with 4 of those 5 wins being against top
I'd
10
have to look
teams
at
in
the
the league.
schedule, but probably not.
Good.
Right? I mean,
They're
that's an
finally-
impressive
they're finally
stretch of
waking up.
games.
Good.
Hey,
Good.
Can I add something to what both said?
How are you? How stunned are you, Mike, right now by what I just
I
said?
literally just hop on the. What did I just send in our producer group chat?
Bull actually has common sense. This is amazing.
Thank you.
But the implication there is finally, meaning you never have.
When it comes to the Cavs, Mike knows
Yeah.
I rule the roost in other areas.
So part of the reason, and you guys all are right, and Jason's point of they need to stack more of these together, like that is true. Bull's point of them playing better and beating 4 of the top 6 teams in the West right now in their last 7 games, very true. Part of the reason they're starting to play better is Darius is starting to look more and more like Darius. And against Minnesota on Saturday, he was 10 of 13 from the floor and, more impressively, 7 of 7 from the mid-range and on floaters. And it was the most stop-start athletic, and you can see some of the highlights here.
Maybe his toe is finally starting to feel good again.
Now, it was the first time I've been at a game where I don't remember a single play where he hobbled afterwards, where he just winced, and you could tell it's still kind of bothering him. That doesn't mean it won't tonight against Utah. It's a toe. It's fidgety. But when he plays like he did against Minnesota, and he's not going to go 7 of 7 on those kind of shots over Gobert every single night.
Yeah.
But he was able to stop and start and blow by bigger defenders when they switched more effortlessly than we've seen at any point this season. And Gobert's a hell of a defender, too. This isn't like he's playing some stiff. Rudy Gobert's a Hall of Fame caliber defensive center, has multiple DPOYs to his resume. When Darius plays like that, and he's been better and better, and Steve, if you want to take his January stats, I think it's 402. Yeah, it's 402. In these 5 games in January, he's been really good. He's averaging over 20 points per game, despite the fact he can't hit a 3. Look at these numbers. He's shooting 58% from the floor.
That is wild.
And he can't make a 3. And in his last 4 games, which if you take out the first game against Denver in January, where he had 6 turnovers, his last 4 games he has 26 assists, just 4 turnovers total, averaging 1 turnover per game in his last 4.
How do you explain
26 assists.
Make Darius toes great again.
He's getting healthier. He's getting ability to get past people, and that's when he's at his best, when he can actually blow by people.
He has all the pieces to his game.
When he plays like this, the Cavs are as close as they can get to being a championship team.
Oh no. He still need right in this. If he's gonna shoot that way, he still need to be. To me, if they want to win a championship, he got to be 23, 24 a game.
Yeah, but we know they're not winning a championship, but they're playing well now.
What happened to all that optimism, Bull? Dashed in one sentence.
There's a limit. There's a limit to it.
There's a limit.
The meter ran out. The meter ran out.
One of the reasons, Bull, that I love the what's going on in the NFL playoffs this year is because, like, the behemoths are gone. You know, Baltimore isn't there. Buffalo's there, but Baltimore, I can call them a behemoth because they haven't been to a Super Bowl recently.
Well, neither is Baltimore.
So, but the reason I say that now and talking about the NBA, I know that the Thunder are the team. I get that. But they've proven to be, they've had some weaknesses. They've got some vulnerabilities. Like, I like when a league is wide open like this. So I don't know that I don't know that I could definitively say there's no way the Cavs are winning a championship. I think there's a
exaggerating
chance.
A little.
It's a small chance, but I think they could.
I mean, I
that's
still
what makes it exciting.
I don't buy that I know the Thunder have struggled with the Spurs, but
they have, and that's
I just can't see how any team in the East is going to win.
It would be funny. Like, some teams have kryptonite. And I'm not saying it will happen, but if the Thunder can't get past the Spurs in the West Finals, if that's the matchup, and the Cavs somehow get out of the East, which, again, remember, they were the favorite to get out of the East. Like, I like a Cavs-Spurs matchup. I would like that.
I mean, you don't have
Would you pick the Cavs against any team in the West to win?
Playing as they are now, not what we saw the first 3 months
any
of the season.
the top teams?
No.
Like, as of right now, you'd have to take OKC.
Yes.
Assuming Jokic comes back healthy, which he should.
Well, Denver wouldn't get to the finals if he wasn't healthy.
I'm just saying, the top teams.
Yeah.
San Antonio, they actually match up pretty well with San Antonio.
That's what I'm saying. If San Antonio is the Thunder's kryptonite, and they somehow get out of the West,
and I don't believe
I wouldn't hate the Cavs' chances against the Spurs.
And you know what the worst matchup is? The Rockets is the worst matchup of all time.
And you know what's funny with the Rockets?
Yeah,
I think so,
and that is a bad matchup.
Percentage chance the Cavs get to the finals.
Get to the finals?
Yeah.
I still think it's higher than most people are giving credit for because the East is such a
32%.
Yeah, I think like 33, 35%.
Yeah, there's probably 3 teams, and if you split it in thirds, and you know what? I'd roll the dice with that.
Mike, what's interesting is how incredibly wrong you are about that 33%. But
you think it's higher?
No, stop.
Well, what's current odds right now from Vegas?
And
look on FanDuel.
And they're like
And then-
seventh. They're seventh currently, or
and then
sixth
tell me
in
about
the
and
standings.
then tell me about the Rockets.
But
Well,
they're-
I said
but-
the Rockets are 7th in the West right now, and the Cavs are 7th in the East.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, that's not a fair comparison. But
No,
the
the West
Rockets
is
have a
better.
way better record,
The West is better.
don't they?
Yeah, they have a better record.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, they're 20. They both have 22 wins. Cavs have 3 more losses.
Yeah.
I'm,
All
but I'm
right,
just
not a
saying,
way better
like,
record, but way better conference.
It is a better conference. Yeah, I'm just saying that a team that we thought was a surefire top 2, top 3 seed in the West has lost 3 in a row and 6 of the last 10.
So you just don't know. That's
And
what
the
I like
teams
about
go ups and
sports. If I know who's going to win, it's why am I watching?
Well, when do we know who's going to win? I mean,
Well,
you
there
know.
have been years where when the season started, I thought rubber stamp it. No one's beating the Thunder. Now I still think they're the win. If I had to lay down
Thunder's
money, they're
gonna
still
win
my
the champ-
pick.
Thunder going to win the championship.
I agree
Let's
with
not be
that.
crazy.
I said from the beginning, I'm like, if anybody
it's-
thinks the Thunder, they're crazy. But there is a path for someone to beat the Thunder, and there is still a path for the Cavs.
To your original point, the NFL is more wide open right now than we've ever seen.
I can't remember a time, but when it's been this open.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's aside from all the close games, that's what makes it so great. Like,
Yeah.
Jacksonville might be looked at as roadkill and an afterthought, but this is a team that if the Bills end up winning it, look how close Jacksonville is.